Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining us for this segment, we have Chad Bronstein, co-founder and CEO of Fyllo, a cannabis marketing company. Chad, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited to be here.
All right, you got it. And how is bringing technology to the cannabis sector a critical piece in bringing it to the mainstream?
Yeah, so when we started Fyllo 3 years ago, we realized that technology was needed in the space. I come from the mainstream world. I was running a large technology platform, and CPG and beverage companies, liquor, pharma have the right platforms to run their business. And in cannabis, technology really wasn't there for cannabis companies to actually run their business from a marketing perspective. So we saw an opportunity to really bring technology and compliance to the market. And so that's what Fyllo did. And 3 years later, I feel like we're seeing the industry mature a lot more, where technology is becoming more available in this market.
What's the value of cannabis consumers to mainstream brands? And give us some examples.
Yeah, the cannabis consumer is very unique, right? So, on paper, for example, you wouldn't know that I go out and buy weed, and there's certain reasons why I may want to buy it, right? I may have sleeping problems, so I eat edibles to sleep. I may be sore from using my Peloton, so I use it for CBD for my joints. A good example would be, we partnered with Uber Eats, and Uber Eats bought our data because obviously our consumers are heavy snackers, a lot of them, so it'd be an obvious audience, right? But then you also have large pharma companies that are losing market share to cannabis. So instead of buying maybe an OTC drug, I'm going to the dispensary and buying cannabis products. So it's also a relevant consumer for them to target, because there's share shift happening. And there's plenty of examples, more examples, but the consumer in cannabis is very unique, and it's very complex because there's a lot of different reasons why they're buying cannabis. And so it's really trying to understand each attribute and why a mainstream brand would want to target that.
Right, interesting. What are your thoughts around consolidation in the industry as well as the legalization process?
Well, consolidation is happening quite a bit in the space. We're seeing it's probably the fastest, fastest consolidation you see is more and more companies are moving to multi-state operators. So multi-state operators are buying the single dispensaries, the single state operators, and the consolidation is meant to happen. So you'll see more of it happening. We're also seeing technology companies consolidate. So there's going to be more of that over the next few years, especially you're seeing SPACs and all these things, and all these other IPOs. So people are coming together there. And then in terms of your other question, which was legalization, I think that we're going to see more and more aggressive behaviors to getting federal legalization, as well as safe banking, because I'd say that in the government side of things, certain states could really, get more tax dollars, more cash into the governments if they open up rec and medical markets. So I would assume it's going to be continuing to be aggressive to get it approved and become legal.
Right. And Chad, to wrap up here, you attended the MJBiz conference last week. What were the key themes discussed there?
Yeah, so for MJBizCon, it was pretty amazing to see. After COVID last year, no one attended. 2 years ago, we had our first MJBizCon. I would say just the level of different and diversity of people that are coming to MJBizCon. So you have all different types of groups, and more, I would say, more even on the investor standpoint, more venture are showing up to cannabis and trying to understand it. So I would say, just for example, for us, we had a party or event 2 years ago, 300 people. This year we had 1,200 people. I would say the conference is very crowded. So that just shows the momentum that cannabis has and how excited people are to learn more and get educated on the space and trying to enter the space.
Yep, it's interesting. Once you get the diversity of investors, that's when you know you kind of gotten over the hump there, Chad. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.